Hello there, it's Sarah from Paper Lovely. Thanks for joining me today. I have got part 1 of my 10 cards 1 kit using the Spellbinders October 2019 card kit to share with you today. And I've gone ahead here and jumped right into card number 1. So I've trimmed down my pattern paper to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And then I've taken the cardstock and trimmed out some panels that measure the full size of an A2 card front. So that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I've used some of the double-sided tape that's included to go ahead and place that on top of my cardstock. And I've grabbed in these presents and this joy ephemera, and I'm going to add this here on the top of my card panel. These first 2 presents I'm going to go ahead and glue directly onto that base there, and I'm using my art glitter glue. For this top present, I'm going to add some of the included foam dots behind there. Give that a little bit of dimension. And I'll press that in place. I also wanted to pop up that joy sentiment, so from my stash I'm going to pull in some 1/8 inch foam tape, and I will just trim off some pieces of that to go all the way around that script lettering. I'll go ahead and peel away the backing and press that into place. I really loved these script sentiments that were included. I would love some dies this size. I think this is just so pretty. I'm also going to grab in one of the sticker sentiments. This reads, "From our family to yours." And I'm going to place that towards the bottom of that joy there. I will go ahead then and trim off a few small pieces of that foam tape just to place underneath the open sections there. I'll add some art glitter glue to the back of my panel and place that on top of one of the card bases. For the inside, I'm using my ruler there, and I'm going to add another sticker sentiment. This reads, "May all your Christmas wishes come true." And then I'm going to finish that up here with this little mouse nutcracker. And that will complete card number 1. For card number 2, I've again trimmed my pattern paper to 3 3/4 by 5 inches, added some double-sided tape, and I'm going to place this down on top of a very light gray panel here. It's almost white. I've grabbed some of the snowflake ephemera. I'm going to lay these out here. And once I'm happy with my placement, I'll start by gluing down this larger back snowflake. I'm gonna pop up this middle-sized purple one. And I'll place that down. Then I'm gonna glue my ticket directly onto my panel. I'm just gonna curl up the 2 edges there. Give that a little bit of extra dimension. And then lastly, I'll go ahead and pop up this smaller snowflake as well. Gonna pull in a sentiment sticker here. This one reads, "No peeking." I'll trim off that excess, add some glue to the back of my panel, and place that on top of my card base. For the inside, I'm adding one of the purple sentiment stickers. This reads, "May all your Christmas wishes come true." And then I'm going to finish up with a few more snowflakes, gluing those down, and then again trimming off the excess. And that will complete card number 2. For card number 3, I've gone ahead and laid out some of this ephemera here. I have a purple panel of cardstock trimmed to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. My purple pattern paper is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I'm going to go ahead and glue down my leaves. And then I will add my flowers on top. Just making sure I've got everything lined up so that I can fit that sentiment on there the way that I'd like it. I'm going to add some art glitter glue, and I will place these larger flowers down first. And then I'm going to pop up this smaller flower with some of the foam dots. I'll go ahead and press that into place. And then for my sentiment here, I'm going to pop this up just like I did with the last one. So I pulled in my 1/8 inch score tape. Oh, nope. First, I'm going to place down my purple panel. Again, adding some of that double-sided tape to the back. And I'll press that into place. And now I'm going to go ahead and pop up this sentiment. So again, I'm using that 1/8 inch foam tape. And you'll see here in a second, I'm going to get a whole layer of this on, and then I will place that down. Because I am running the beginning of this sentiment, just really the C over top of the small flower that has already popped up, I need to do a double layer. So you'll see that I press that down here and then realize that I am not even, and I didn't want to tuck it underneath because you really need to sort of see the beginning of the sentiment. So I will then go ahead and add a second layer of that foam tape just to the HEER, and that will keep everything nice and even. I added a little bit of art glitter glue just behind the one layer of foam tape behind the C there, just to make sure that sticks down nice and tight. And I'll press that into place. I've grabbed another piece of the ephemera that reads "A Christmas Wish." I'm gonna add some art glitter glue, and I will place that down. I really like that pop of blue next to all that purple. I'll add some art glitter glue to the back of my panel and place that on top of my card base. And then finally, I'm going to grab 3 of these small crystals. There were 2 colors. I went with the lighter blue, and I'm going to add those right up along the corner here. For the inside, I've added the sticker sentiment that reads "From our family to yours." And then I'm going to finish up here with these really pretty flowers in the corner. These were some of my favorite pieces that were in the ephemera this time. I've trimmed away the excess there, and that will complete card number 3. For card number 4, I've got my pink pattern paper trimmed to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I've grabbed some of these ornament ephemera and I'm going to place these down on front here. The back two, the light purple and the green, I've placed down directly onto that panel using some art glitter glue. And this larger purple ornament here, I'm going to pop up using some of the foam dots. And then I'll press that into place. I wanted to have that banner be popped up as well, so I'm going to trim some pieces from what I have left over from my foam dots, and I'll add some on either end there. I'll put some art glitter glue in the middle just to keep that down nice and tight over top of the bottom of that ornament there. I started by grabbing in that purple panel there and then decided that I would switch that out for the gray. Before I place that down, I'm going to trim off some pieces of this string. This is just left over in my stash. It may be from an old paper pumpkin. I'm not quite sure. And I'm just going to trim off a piece long enough that I can loop it through the top of that ornament and then fold that over the back of my pattern paper. And I was careful as I glued all of those down to make sure that I didn't get any glue behind that top loop. I'm going to run some of that double-sided tape along the top of my paper here. I'll peel away the backing and then I'm just going to fold those strings right over top and press them down onto my tape. I'm not pulling too hard, just enough to keep it taut. I'll go ahead then and trim off that excess. Wanted to add a little dimension here, so I'm going to grab my foam tape and place a layer of that behind my pattern paper. This is going to help keep those strings extra secure as well. I'll peel away that backing and place that down on top of my gray panel. My ornaments were still hanging off the edge just slightly, so I will take my scissors and trim off that excess. And I'll add some glue to the back of my panel and place that down on top of my card base. Here I've grabbed a few more of those crystals and I'm going to add 3 more along the bottom left-hand corner. For the inside, I'm adding a purple Happy Holidays sentiment. And then I'm going to finish up here with 2 more of the ornaments, just adding those down with some art glitter glue. I'll trim away the excess there, and that will complete card number 4. Here for card number 5, I wanted to create a snowbank, so I've taken some of the white cardstock and trimmed that down to 2 inches and 1.5 inches. Just going to tear across the top to give sort of a snowbank look, and I'll do that for both of those. And then I'm going to get everything laid out into place. For the snowbanks here, this larger one, I'm going to add 2 pieces of tape, one along the bottom and one closer to the top. But you'll see when I place this down, because I want to tuck some of the trees underneath, I'm going to only peel away the bottom layer first, and then once I've got my other ephemera into place, I'll then use my pokey tool and peel away the top layer. For this bottom one, it's small enough that I felt I only needed 1. So there you see I'm just doing the bottom, and I'm going to place this along my panel. This is again the full size of my card front, so it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'll layer down the smaller snowbank on top. And I'll get my trees put into place. These back 2, I'm going to go ahead and glue directly down with some art glitter glue. And then this top one, I've added some art glitter glue to the bottom, but I am going to pop up the top for a little bit of dimension with one of those foam dots. And I'll press that into place. I'll also pop up my sentiment. This was another one of my favorites. I love that script with a little bit of glitter on either end of it. And I'll press that into place, just using my mat there to keep it nice and straight. Finally, I pulled in my Jelly Roll pen. This is a white medium tip. And I'm just going to add some dots so it looks like I've got some snow falling in the background here. I'll add some art glitter glue to the back of my panel and place that down on top of my card base. And then here I almost forgot, but I'm going to go ahead and peel away that top layer of my double-sided tape and press that down. That'll keep my snowbank down nice and tight. Here for the inside, again, I'm adding one of the sticker sentiments. This reads, "Celebrate the Season." And I'll place that right in the center there. And then to finish up, I'm going to add 2 more of my trees towards the bottom corner here, just gluing those down in place. And I'll add a few of these silver stars as well. And that will complete card number 5. Here are a few close-ups of the finished cards. In the description box below, you'll find my blog post, which has additional photos and links to the supplies I used. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a comment or a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.